Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Care. Today we're preparing something very special because it was taught to us by Berta Perez and her husband Al, but mostly Berta because she's of Korean American descent and she had a woman in the United States who took her under her wing and to teach her Korean traditions, which included making this meal that we're going to make today, which is japche. Now, japche is based on Yangman noodles. These are sweet potato starch noodles, and they're kind of an interesting translucent noodle. We're going to cook those. Yeah, here's the package if you want to see that. Probably have to go to an Asian grocery store to get these or buy them on Amazon because this is not something that the average grocery store is going to have. But they are wonderful and they are important to this meal. So if you do want to make this, make the extra effort and get yourself some Yangman noodles. So japche is a kind of a stir fry of lots of vegetables. You can include the meat of your choice. We're going to be using filet mignon. What I do is I buy the entire tenderloin unpeeled when I buy it, and I break it down myself. And what you get as a result is a lot of meat that doesn't work very well as steaks, but it's fantastic meat. So a peeled tenderloin and an unpeeled tenderloin cost about the same amount in terms of dollars, but the unpeeled one, you get several pounds of additional meat out of them, and it's largely going to be this sort of stuff that you can use for purposes other than filet mignon steaks or Chateaubriand. We're doing this today for our beautiful granddaughter, Olivia. She requested this. She and her husband, Seth, visited us here, and we made this with them, and she couldn't remember the recipe, so I said, I will make you a video. So here's to you, Liv. We love you. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take these noodles and boil them. I have a pot of boiling water going back here, and we'll just let those get down into the water. And once that's going, I can now cook the beef. Now the beef has been marinating. The marinade, you'll find in a lot of Asian cooking, there's a combination of savory and sweet things. So this is brown sugar. There's a little bit of mirin in here. Some sesame oil. Sesame oil is one of those really characteristic Korean flavors. And what else do I have in here? Soy sauce, sugar, mirin, some sesame oil, and I've got some cloves of garlic that I've chopped up, and a hefty grind of black pepper. Now I'm getting my pan warmed up. I'm going to put a little peanut oil in there and give this a real quick stir fry. By the way, the proportions in this whole recipe are really inconsequential in terms of their importance. You can put a lot of whatever you like in and leave out or diminish the quantity of things that you don't like. We happen to have a lot of this beef in one package that I froze, so it's going to be pretty beefy. We like our beef pretty rare, so, all right, so what you can see on the board here, we are mise en place here, so we've got chopped onions. This is an omelet, very thin omelet I made with 2 eggs, sliced it into little strips. These look pretty on top, and they add a little bit more protein. Over here, we have spinach that I have blanched and shocked and then chopped. So this is about a half of a package of one of those big things that you buy in the supermarket of spinach. These are multicolored peppers, so we've got a red pepper, an orange pepper, a yellow pepper, and then I found some shishito peppers in the grocery today, so a little bit of heat from those, and then we have little carrot matchsticks here too. The quantity of shiitake mushrooms that you'll normally see in a recipe is much less than what I have here. We love mushrooms, And as I said, you can mess with these proportions all you want. We're going to go heavy on the mushroom. We're going to go easier on the noodles than most recipes would suggest. But you do whatever proportions you like. And all I want to do with this is, I really would like this to be rare. Kind of tough to do in a stir fry, especially with a marinade. But I'm just going to get a little bit of the red color off the outside, and then this meat is done. It doesn't take very long. Now, various components of this will go into this wok one at a time, and they'll be waiting for the noodles. The noodles retain enough heat that it will actually warm everything else back up. So I'm not worried about this stuff getting cold. And typically, japche would be served almost at room temperature. So it's not one of those things that has to be piping hot when it's served. And I'm going to take this meat off, because there will be some carryover as well. Okay, meat off. Now the onions go in. I'm using peanut oil as the frying oil here. For extra flavor, I'll add some more sesame oil later, and there was sesame oil in the marinade. That toasted sesame oil really gives it a very interesting flavor. It is a characteristic flavor in everything Korean I've ever cooked. And this is very much a stir fry, so these are not going to be cooked. They're going to be lightly cooked so that they retain a little bit of crunch. Nothing in this gets cooked to death, I guess, except the spinach, no matter what you do. When I blanch that, I started out with a bale of spinach, and it blanched down to that little ball in about 30 seconds. Okay, onions are looking good. There's a little bit of color from the meat being in the wok, so it's a little hard to tell whether the onions are picking up color from cooking or whether they're getting it from the wok, but I can see that they're starting to get a little bit more translucent. They don't have to be limp, but a little bit of translucency would be nice. And about like that'll do it. Okay, another splash of the peanut oil. Very small amount, doesn't take much. And all of the peppers and carrots go in. I'm going to check on these noodles. You want them still a little bit chewy. Hard to get just one for tasting. You can see how long they are. These are way too long to eat, so I will be cutting them in half. Oh, they're good. I left the seeds in the shishitos. They're kind of hard to get out if you wanted to. But I did that to give them a little extra pop. Not traditional in japche, but we're eating it, so we get to make it the way we want, as do you. Okay, the peppers have had a nice little stir. Okay, now the mushrooms are going in dry. They are like sponges. They draw up oil like crazy. So I'm going to get some heat on those. And they'll pick up a little bit of color. And I'm going to drain the noodles. This is the same water that I blanched the spinach in, so it's got little bits of spinach all through it, which is just fine. We're going to combine the spinach in there anyhow. Essential tool for making japche. You'll find it's way easier to eat if you do this. If you forget and serve it without doing this, you will regret it. That is the voice of experience speaking. Okay, I think we got those small enough. I'm going to add just a touch of oil to this, now that they've had a little bit of time on the heat. And I am going to add the spinach back in to warm it up. Get some of these sesame seeds toasted a bit in here. Now the sauce is made with, let's see, remember, I've got a 1/3 cup soy sauce in here, and I use light soy sauce, about a tablespoon or two of brown sugar, a couple of tablespoons of sesame oil, and some sesame seeds. And I'm going to put that all in. A little extra sesame oil with the noodles to keep them from sticking. And we are done. Okay, this is one of those meals that you add a little of this and a little of that, and before long you got a lot of something. I intended to cook this as dinner for two. I think we could accommodate.
We need living salad.
Yeah, we need more people. Come visit us. We need more people to eat this. All right. Some more sesame seeds. Can never have too many sesame seeds. And the omelet becomes a bit of a garnish over the top. And that, everybody, is japche. So a little prayer to Berta. Thank you, Berta, for teaching us how to make this. And we're going to enjoy it right now. Look at all of those good flavors in there. You got lots of good stuff happening. Enjoy, everybody.